come on to your mat. Bring the knees into the chest and arms around the shins. Just rock side to side. Relax the knees, the shoulders. Maybe you just came back from a run. The body is nice and warmed up and you're looking to open up here, stretch out. So might be in the constraints of your bedroom like me, finding a full body stretch where you can. And exhale to let it go. I'll take those knees back into the chest, arms around the shins, and arms to a T, knees come to the right. And a gaze over left shoulder. Inhale to come through center and over to the other side, being mindful of anything you have going on in your temporary studio. And you'll come on through center, arms around the shins, few rocks up and down the spine, maybe catch the balance for a moment. Crossing at the ankles and coming to an easy seat. Relaxing the hips, the shoulders, the knees. Inhale, fingertips to the sky. Exhale, a twist over to the right. Inhale through center, over to the other side. Now inhale through center, bring the hands down into the heart. And just pause for a moment here. Float the eyes closed. Taking note of the breath, the mind, the heart. Scanning the body, just seeing what you've had going on in these last few days. And see what you need out of your practice today. Inviting the breath out through the nose to slow down the heartbeat, slow down the mind. Taking an inhale, bringing fingertips up to the sky, and we'll make our way to tabletop. I'm gonna make my way to the side so I have enough space. Shoulders above the wrists, hips above the knees, 3 rounds of cat-cow. Inhale to press the ground away, curl the tailbone, open up the throat. Exhale, hollow out the belly, press the ground away. 2 more times. Inhale, open up the throat, curl the tailbone. Exhale, hollow out the belly, head falls between the arms. 1 more, inhale to rise. And exhale to sink. Coming through center, taking right fingertips, thread the needle behind the left forearm. Settle down on the shoulder, the temple. You can find your favorite variation of thread the needle. Watching how the side of the neck feels. And taking it to the other side. Open up that right side before taking it to the left. That's my dog. Threading the needle. You can take a half wrap, opening up the heart. And gently, I want to come on back to that tabletop. Nice little rock here, side to side. And you can see I have my SCY gear on, but I do need to make teeny tiny adjustment to make sure it stays in my down dog. We're gonna make our way, planting those palms down, tucking toes, hips lift high, downward facing dog, pedal out the feet. Oh my goodness, feels really, really awesome to come back to a down dog. Haven't been doing it enough, I have to admit. 2 sun salutations, gaze to the fingertips, stroll top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale for a flat back. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, look up, reach up, extend, full body stretch. And exhale, hands, heart space. Inhale, fingertips up to the sky. And exhale, dive it down. Forward fold. One more flat back, reach for the heart, make some space in the spine. And as you dive it forward, heart comes a little closer to those knees. Knees soften, hands plant down, slide on back, plank pose. Yoga push-up, elbows squeeze against the ribs. Maybe you pause. Slide cobra or up dog. Exhale back. Downward facing dog. Few breaths to pedal out the feet. Find some space in the legs, the calves, the spine. And melt the heels, melt the heart. A gaze to the fingertips, another stroll to the top of the mat in your forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, look up, reach up, extend, full body stretch, maybe pretty back bend. Exhale, hands, heart space. Inhale, fingertips back up to the sky. Exhale, dive it down. Forward fold. Knees soften, hands plant down, back to your plank pose. Pause, shoulders at the wrists, strong core. Squeeze elbows against the ribs. Lower down. Cobra or up dog. Exhale back, child's pose. Pinky fingers to the sky to give the wrists a little bit of a break. Always connecting back to the breath, even if you are moving a bit quicker for this practice. Back to your tabletop, tucking toes, hips lift high, downward facing dog. Inhale to float the right toes to the sky. As you soften the knee to the nose, taking a step, fingertips at toe tips, knee over the ankle. Strong back leg. As you start to hover, hands can come to the hips, shoulders, even with the hips, mount that back heel. Floating fingertips to the sky for your high lunge. Maybe a little bit of a back bend. And framing out the front foot, lower left knee down, untuck toes. Favorite variation of your crescent stretch. So you get that knee over the ankle. Getting used to practicing in my SCY gear here. Hands at the hips. Floating fingertips to the sky, maybe to a T. And finally, if you love that bind, thumbs drip down the spine, open up the heart. Frame on out, front foot coming into the inside of the front foot. First opportunity for your arm balance, Kundanyasana. You might pause for a moment or two in your lizard. And we've been playing with this on Monday and Thursday night. So some yogis are playing with that Kundanyasana. I have to admit, I don't have it perfect myself, but perhaps with this quarantine, we'll work on it together. Bring the right shoulder and be in your mirror here. Bring your right shoulder underneath the knee and plant that hand on the outside of the front foot. You can see I have bent elbows, chaturanga arms. I'm beginning with the setup for my Kundanyasana. So I have my right elbow connected to my right thigh. I'm starting to scooch those right toes on a 45-degree angle. And then my left elbow, here's my cheat, I'm working on it. My elbow comes to my hip and both toes float for that Kundanyasana. Beautiful. You can make your way back, gently unwind. Might make your way, that was a bit of a funky transition. Come on back down to the ground. A child's pose, pinky fingers to the sky because the wrists are talking. And back to your downward facing dog. I'm going to switch sides so I can be in your mirror on the other side. On an inhale, you're going to float the left toes, three-legged dog, and make your way into your low lunge. Fingertips at toe tips, knee over the ankle, strong collarbone forward. Pressing that back knee to the sky. When you feel steady, then playing with the flow. Press that thigh open and rise to the high lunge. Sink into the back heel. Shoulders even with the hips. Perhaps as the gaze goes to the sky, just covering a back bend. Exhale, frame out the front foot, lowering the knee down, untuck toes, taking what you like out of your crescent. It might be a gentle stroll to the thigh, fingertips to the sky. Perhaps the bind, interlace fingers, thumbs drip down the spine, open up the heart. One side's gonna feel different than the other. This guy's feeling tight on this side today. Whew, good thing the dresser's there. We'll frame on out the front foot, heel toeing that left foot out, coming to lizard for your Vinyasa second side. Scooching back to make sure I don't lose the frame here. You can enjoy lizard, the hip opener, or left shoulder comes underneath the knee, left hand outside that left foot, chaturanga arms, left elbow to left thigh, right elbow comes to the hip as you scooch the left toes on a 45, sinking down, floating toes. Gazing at the left big toe. Pretty transition would be to make your way to a chaturanga. And then up dog. Need to adjust shoulders at the wrists. Exhale back, child's pose. Back to tabletop, tuck toes, hips, lift high, downward facing dog. Sending a gaze to fingertips and a walk top of the mat, coming to a forward fold. I'm just staying in the middle here so that you can see me. Got this forward fold. We'll scoop down and up for your chair pose. Flexing through the hands, squeezing ankles and knees. Hands come into heart space. A twist over to the right, bringing the left elbow outside right thigh. Press into that prayer. Left knee's gonna wanna creep forward, give it a squeeze back. Gaze over top elbow. Scooping all the way up, finding a back bend. Hands, heart space, and other side. Right elbow hooks outside, left thigh, press into the palms. Gaze over that left elbow. Anybody else feeling shaky today? I gotta admit, it's been a week, and I'm shaking a little bit. Maybe I should stop reading the news so much. I think we all should. Inhale to rise on up. Hands into heart space. I'm gonna lift up the heels as I bring it on down to a yogi squat on an exhale. Opening up the knees, you're welcome to enjoy yogi squat. If you have a crow into your practice, you are welcome to take that. Here I go with my SCY gear again. So I'm planting my palms down, squeezing knees against the elbows as the beginning of your crow, sending the gaze forward. Maybe you float a toe, and maybe you float another. If you feel stuck, it might be because you're flexing through the feet and the toes are pointing outward. So instead of having that outward rotation of the feet, you want to be thinking inward with the hips, and that will allow you to lift a little bit more, stacking shoulders, hips, all the joints stack on top of each other for that crow pose. So my knees meet the wrists, my hips meet my knees, and here you are. Shaking that out. Maybe take a forward fold here, extend out the legs, and exhale. Reach it out, melt the heart. You might notice the backs of the knees off the ground. Each exhale, seeing where in the body you can let go a little bit, release. Little inhales to rise, make space. And exhales to sink. Okay, come on up here, finding a fish pose, not fish. Reverse plank pose. Shoulders over the wrists, open up the heart, pretend you're on a beach somewhere, open up the throat. If you like lifting hips, reach for those big toes towards the ground, pretty line from toes to hips, all the way to the crown of the head. Exhale, coming back down, crossing at the ankles, planting the palms, and making your way back to your downward facing dog. On an inhale, reaching right toes to the sky, we'll soften that knee, stepping through to your low lunge. I'm making mine a little shallow here because of my space constrictions, doing what you gotta do. Fingertips at toe tips. Keeping that knee over the ankle, starting to rise back into your high lunge, flexing through the palms. We'll find a twist, flex through the palms, twisting gaze goes to that right thumb, press the right thigh. Am I gonna look? I looked for a second. You'll rise on up, and we're gonna find a warrior two. I'm gonna switch on over so that I match you here. So you're on that left side, the left leg bent, right leg straight. Soft gaze over those fingertips. And inhale, prayer comes on up to the sky. Exhale, sink it down, flip that front palm, reach it forward back for a peaceful warrior. Breathe into the front lung. Exhale, back warrior two. Elbow to the thigh, fingertips to the sky. Inhale back, peaceful triangle. Breathe into that front lung. Exhale back, warrior two. Coming down, bringing that front hand inside the ankle. Opening up the top hand. Finding a half wrap. Maybe a full wrap. If you like, here comes that birds of paradise. Ooh. Let's see how I do here. So you'll be light on those left toes. I ended up switching my warrior two to that left side. If you're with me and you're matching me, you're floating those left toes, puffing the heart to the sky. And here we are, birds of paradise. Anybody loving this guy? Whoop, there I go. Talking and balancing. I'm gonna open up for a half moon pose. Show off my SCY gear as I do that. Half moon. Stacking hips, stacking shoulders. Floating all the way back to that warrior two. Peaceful warrior. I'll frame mine out, front foot, all of the back foot, swing, left leg high. Say hello to your wall. And making your way. Tabletop, a child's pose. We'll take that other side. I'm gonna switch sides so I match you here. Taking tabletop and your downward facing dog. Inhale to float right toes to the sky. We'll soften, knee to the nose. Stepping through to your low lunge. I had a bit of a crunch in my spine for that transition. I feel like I have not enough space here, but usually I would have the leg swing high and come through. Finding your low lunge for a moment. Inhale to rise to the high lunge. Taking a twist, gaze goes towards the right thumb. Maybe you peek at it. Rise to the high lunge and sink. Warrior 2, second side. Soft gaze over right fingertips. Inhale, prayer to the sky. Exhale to sink, flip it. Front palm, reach it forward. Back for a peaceful warrior. And elbow to the thigh, fingertips to the sky. I was listening to Indigo Girls, and she said, you have to laugh at yourself, because you'd cry your eyes out if you didn't. And I'm just giggling a little bit, just getting to know my bedroom with a yoga practice. Back, warrior 2, peaceful triangle, give that front hip a break. Exhale, warrior 2. Bringing the right hand inside the right ankle, flex through the left palm, open up the shoulders, not sinking into the bottom shoulder. And then a half wrap, maybe that full wrap. This guy took me about 6 months. So if you're watching this spine and you're thinking, what? Perhaps join us for a practice and see where the journey takes you. We'll take the left foot, step it in towards the right. I'll show you birds of paradise from the side. So I'm light on my right toes. Wouldn't you know, this is my weaker side. I'm getting light on right toes, flex through the foot. Shoulders stack with the hips. I'm cheating, I got my dresser here to support me. And perhaps gently unwind. Bring the right toes down, and I'll bring the hand to the hip. And open up for my half moon. Exhale back, warrior 2, peaceful warrior. Frame out the front foot, follow the back foot. You can swing it on back. And make your way child's pose.